I found EU5 so bad that it's the first time I refunded a game via Steam. G'day, I'm the Blobber, long-time EU4 content creator, EU4 exploit finder and sharer, EU4 speedrunner, and self-declared grumpy old man. With over 10k hours in EU4, I'd hoped that I'd fall in love with EU5 too, but sadly, my release day experience left me feeling sad and disappointed, more than in love. I found the game to be functionally buggy, mechanically unenjoyable and tedious, and to present itself with often misleading and questionable UI. The most frustrating bug was finding fabricated CBs to be in some cases non-functional or usable, forcing me to no CB instead. Playing as Khmer, I fabricated a CB against neighbouring Champa. The CB clearly shows up in my diplomacy panel. Yet, trying to declare war on Champa shows no valid CB, forcing me to no CB. What's causing the issue? Honestly not sure. I suspect it's something to do with Champa being a Yarn tributary. In any case, if the game is going to let you spend Spy Network to make a CB, you should be able to use that CB. Having functioning CBs is a pretty basic thing not to have working properly at launch. In terms of finding the game unfun and tedious, I didn't enjoy the extent that it wants you to focus on characters. Pop-ups nagging you about giving your third daughter a better education, or a fifth son being unmarried were more chores than enjoyable to interact with. To me, that kind of thing belongs in CK, not EU. Beyond not enjoying the character focus, my biggest objection is that I find the new production building market system loop unenjoyable and tedious. POPs demand goods, which they pull from their local market, and which you supply via trade with other markets or by direct production from expanding NGOs or constructing buildings. Functionally, this plays very similarly to Victoria 3, but without the benefits of a convenient macro builder. I found individually micromanaging the availability of every single good type for every single pop type inside every single market that you have horrendously tedious. Admittedly, this is subjective, and that there will be people for whom making this production number go up and the building numbers go up, just like in Victoria 3, could well be a source of enjoyment for them in EU5 too, even if it didn't do it for me. Less subjective are the UI failings, with context menus that highlight and tell you to click them to do something. They don't actually do anything when clicked, and actually want you to click something else. Perhaps I have unreasonable expectations, but if a box with a highlighted subregion says, click here to do X immediately, then when I click the highlighted subregion, I expect it to do X. In addition to the UI often being misleading and confusing, it's also often horribly wasteful. As an example of this, let's take a look at the tech tree. Now, I personally really don't like that you can't zoom all the way out and see the whole thing at once. But more importantly, why are all these boxes that make up the text tree so tiny? And why do they have such huge spaces between them? Meaning that such a large proportion of the screen space is wasted on empty background. It only takes glancing at the EU4 mission trees or even the HOI4 focus trees to see that Paradox does know how to make an appropriately dense and sized tree system, even when it's branching and a little complex. I would suggest in the strongest possible terms that they rework the current layout of the tech tree and its sizing to more closely mirror these. Ultimately, I found it to be a bloated, arguably stinking, Frankenstein monster corpse made from Vicky and CK parts, stitched together with an often misleading and questionable UI, masquerading as EU. So personally unenjoyable and buggy was it that it is the first time I've ever refunded a game via Steam. I'd suggest approaching it with caution, if at all, and only after waiting a year or two for it to grow into something more polished and less buggy.